Welcome into the We Go On and On Disney Parks podcast. Me and Caleb are here. I did not tell him exactly what I was doing with the intro, but I think he got the point. This is how we intro all of our government classes, most of them, with Monero. And here we are, finally starting a Disney Parks podcast, which, honestly, long time in the ideas, in the work mill, and this will be every two-ish weeks till the end of the year and maybe into the summer, because I have more of a recording setup in the summer, and we will keep it going for as long as possible because Disney has a lot of topics and we could talk Disney for a very long time. Caleb over here is this podcast is going up on the Flannery Sports Booth YouTube channel, so also on that channel is the Exit 333 podcast and the WAWD, What Are We Doing, Phillies post-game show podcast. That is our statistician for that podcast is right here. He also is going to be featured on Exit 333 podcast in the future. Very helpful nickname of Day Game Cleveland. Caleb, welcome to the Disney podcast as a co-host.
This is different. I'm going to be on all of these.
You are fully co-hosting this situation. This is not a I'm the solo host or you're coming in as a guest. You are basically, this is a duo podcast, which I have never exactly done, which should be fun.
Yeah, I'm quite excited because, as you mentioned, we can talk about Disney forever.
So my favorite Disney thing, we both have our stories of exactly how we got here in Disney-wide, but I'll start with mine and how we kind of connected this. So I went in 2024. Yeah, 2024, last year in the fall, to Disney World in September. And it was that year in the spring and winter, in January, February of 24, I started listening a lot more to news to WWNT, which is like a top Disney YouTube channel and news channel who does a lot of Disney coverage for a long period of time. I spent a long period of time before, during COVID and right before COVID, learning about Disney. I always cared about it a little bit, but never to the extent that I do now. And sitting here, and I would start listening to the podcast I remember the first time I listened to one was I walked up to, in a snowstorm, I walked up to Dunkin' Donuts and then I came back home. But I listened to the podcast and I was telling Caleb about it, that I was get back into listening to it. And around that same time, he told me that around the same time, I think is then when you said you were going in August. And then a few weeks later, I figured out I'm going in September to Disney. And famously, I think this is one of the quote I kind of go back to when we were in the car on the way home, I think it was home from Ocean City the one time. And your mom said, "How long do you think this Disney topic is going to be able to sustain?" We're going to be able to sustain talking about this. And think about it for a second, maybe years of, I think we could, and I think at the time we both said this could go on forever because there's so much to talk about.
I don't remember if you were there. I very much do remember Mommy asking that question, though. And I remember answering, I don't think this is going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, and it was after I had gone. We had come back, we were talking about it. Because it was the review book. And we were talking about that whole review book that I was writing by accident. And then you were compiling, and then you were writing.
By accident. That might be one of the best things we've done Disney related.
But anyway,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, gotta back up a little bit. So yeah, we essentially were this is going to go on forever, and she was not fully convinced, but be convinced now.
Here we are now. Little different. I kind of said that was my start, my first ever trip to Disney. I don't really remember. It was back a long time ago, and then in 2018 I went. Somehow me and you went around the same time and didn't know. Mm-hmm. We had no idea. We went around the same time. You went right before Toy Story Land opened, right?
Yes.
Right before. And I went few weeks before during the Star Wars event with the guys with the
Imperial March.
Imperial March walking down Hollywood Boulevard, which was amazing. That music you can't find. Yeah.
Duh.
You cannot find that track. We have to have a discussion one day about music. But
Yeah.
that music track, you can't find it. So anyway, that's when I went, and then it was since then 2018, and then you had COVID where no one went anywhere to Disney at all, and finally we decided to go back again in 2024, and since early 24 I've really just I love baseball and I do a baseball podcast and all that, but this has been literally when I watch something on my YouTube page, it's all Disney stuff is on my YouTube page. Baseball doesn't really make it on my YouTube page. It's all Disney.
I've seen your YouTube page. You're right.
I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. It is literally, there's cruise line reviews, overseas, not just this area. Like we're going to try to focus this on American parks for this podcast at this point, but
there's a lot more to Disney.
I do a lot. I follow all the cruise ship stuff, all the Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Paris. I love Paris. That park is really nice looking. But like I follow all this other stuff with Disney podcasts and Disney like audios. I listen to the Main Street Magic podcast, which is every Tuesday and Friday they put out an episode. They have 800 episodes out. So like this is the type of stuff I listen to all the time. Caleb, I'm going to let you take your story because yours a little bit I've always known you like Disney and you've always liked it by your t-shirts and all that stuff, but we connected in 23 with it, and now we've
24.
been friends forever. 24, and you've done it your whole life.
Yeah, so if I understand it correct, you had some interest in Disney. You'd been to Disney once or twice before 2024, once in 2018, and then had you been before then?
Before then, yes. There's a picture in my room on my wall of me smiling at the Move It, Shake It, Celebrate It parade. Do I know? I have to find exactly what year that was, but it was that year. It was it was spring break in May. I could actually find the exact time. It was spring break in May. It's little tiny me standing there, and I think this was back 2014 because the Main Street Electrical Parade was still running when we did it. We watched the Main Street Electrical Parade from Tony's Town Square.
Yep, and then you got really interested in Disney in the lead up to that trip when we both started talking about it and really diving into all this.
Yes.
For me, I've always been interested in Disney family. So my parents have been to Disney a number of times. They love it. I love it there, and it's been so much fun. I also went in 2018. The big story with that one that I remember is we left the day Toy Story Land opened. And that was always a personal vendetta for me for the following 6 years. Because of COVID and everything else, it was 6 years before we went back in 2024.
We both have personal vendettas against Toy Story Land, sadly.
Yours is Slinky Dog, but mine... it was 6 years, and the only thing I wanted to do, the number one thing on my list going back to Disney, was I wanted to go into Toy Story Land. And that moment when I finally got to go was awesome. Anyway, before...
How many trips before that 2018
Before
trip?
2018, I had been twice. Once in 2013. That was my first trip when I would have been 5 or so. And then in 2015 or 18, I don't remember which one. I went in 2015, I went in 2018. One of those, it was my grandparents' 50th anniversary, and we also went on a Disney cruise. We went on the Disney Dream, which was one of the newer ships at the time.
Yes. So you have a long history, and I know this pretty well. It's been very easy to have something that most people, if you become a Disney fan, in high school, especially around this, there's not that many other people that actually care as much about you, and I don't think there's anybody that cares that much as we do right now, because this is a insane psychotic level of care. I can recite the entire Haunted Mansion, so there's things like that, but it's really it was a nice connecting piece to still be able to talk about with someone else and have another thing in friendship wise. And I know all your photos in your room, you have collages of different trips, and then you actually have been there more recently, been to a Disney park more recently than me. Take it away.
Yes, so very recently, past spring break, we got really lucky. essentially there was a travel voucher that was expiring that essentially meant we could fly to Disneyland for pretty much free because of, extra benefits and such. And so thus we went to Disneyland for 3 days, and I absolutely loved it there. I liked Disneyland, the park, better than Magic Kingdom, to be quite honest. And there's a lot to be said about everything Disneyland, and I could spend forever talking about that, and I'm just not quite going to right now. I mean, it's smaller, it's really nice. There's a really special part where it's the park that Walt built, and it shows that in a number of different ways, particularly with it has a longer history. There's more things that you can see have been updated, changed, and there's some things that you can see have been left. Enter Tomorrowland in Disneyland that is just, there's a bunch of old attraction stuff that's just sitting there empty. Anyway, so that is my Disneyland recent experience, which that was a lot of fun. Stayed at the Disneyland Hotel, which the pool there looked really cool. And just shout out to the pool there. I got some great photos there.
So after doing some little bit of research, I went in 2016.
2016.
So it's 2016, okay. 2018, or no, 2015, 2018, and then, back to 24 because everyone had a stoppage. Now, that's your Disney history, and now we've taken our expertise to a very large standard. We listen to a lot of Disney park music, the number one radio station out there, D-Park Radio. D-Park Radio.
Shout out D-Park Radio.
I listen to it so much that I have a hat of D-Park Radio. Now, no one understands what it is when you see it out in public. Like, most time you see a hat and you question, like, what is that? And like, everyone must look at my hat and be like, what in the world? Why does it say Disney theme park music 24/7? And it literally is. We have gotten very deep into the music. There is 115 song playlist on YouTube right now, or 50?
Oh,
it's 51,
151 right now is what I'm at.
151 theme park theme songs from Disney World. We've got a lot more into like history stuff of these parks.
There's so much history of Disney parks that I don't even know yet, and I absolutely love learning about it. Okay, you get this now.
Okay.
One of the things that, like, if I were to work at Disney, what I would want to do is do something to make the Disney archives more accessible to people.
Yes.
Like, I want to be able to learn about all this stuff, not from websites that are literally so old they are archived on, like, archive websites. Like, I want to get more of this stuff straight from Disney, which I feel like would be so
Retro
cool.
WDW is one of the sites you can find stuff on. So I watched, before leading, my idea, I like researching things before I go there, Disney especially, but like different trips that I go on, I like researching things. So I found, really what got me watching a lot of WWNT stuff was the thing that they did during COVID and to lead up to the 50th celebration in Disney World, where they made a video going about every single year. Every year from 1971 all the way up to where we are now.
That's cool.
Then they did videos, then they combined them like into 2 whole parts. It's an 8-hour thing if you sit down and watch the whole thing together. It goes on every little change, like when restaurant changed the paint job on the front of restaurant. So would I benefit from rewatching a little bit of that? Because it's been a little bit. Yes, I do have an intention to rewatch the second half because I'm honestly not as good at the last 20 years as I am with the last 40 years, like the 20 years before, like 2000 and prior. I have a lot of knowledge about that era with Epcot and a bunch of stuff. I spent time on that, so I would like to. Sometimes the recent stuff gets kind of lost because I care more about other things, like the name of this podcast came up, and probably worth explaining where this comes from. So if you don't know much about Disney, number one, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to learning about Disney.
We'll teach you.
We'll teach you. And this is kind of one of the purposes I wanted to do this podcast was like we go on our Disney senior trip or Florida trip because a lot of spent time in Universal, which I've never been to Universal. You have never been either, right?
Correct.
So that'll be an interesting thing for us, and we'll definitely come back and give our trip reviews on here. Now we have a spot to do a trip review other than the document of thing that I'll let you explain that in a second once we go over the name. So the We Go On name comes from the popular phrase and the quote from the end of the show of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth, of We Go On. And I wouldn't play the audio because I don't know if that'll get copyrighted or not. I know you want to, but it's a very good.
I want to so badly.
Promise. I know you want to. I would not just for copyright claims. The show is really good. The show is turned into. I have never seen. I've seen the show in person. I don't remember seeing the full show in person. It's my favorite show it's me and Caleb's favorite show in Nighttime Spectacular in Disney. Even though you have a little bit more remembrance of it than I do, but I don't remember, and I know I've seen it multiple times. I don't remember seeing it. I do not remember seeing the show, but I've watched it hundreds of times on YouTube at this point. So you have the video of you saying that was awesome, right?
Yeah. So
lagoon.
Here's my story. Illuminations, Reflections of Earth is my favorite Nighttime Spectacular of all time at this point, as I believe is yours, right?
Yes.
And
there's not one that's really close, and we should have a conversation about this down the line too.
We will. So here's your brief synopsis. We Go On is the final song of this show.
Promise also that we'll be confused by.
Yeah, so there's We Go On, that's the final part of the show, and then Promise is the post-show song. The entire Nighttime Spectacular Illuminations is the biggest part of the Millennium celebration. So at the turn of the Millennium, 2000, this show came out and was part of Disney's grand big Millennium Celebration event that mainly took place in Epcot. There is the Tapestry of Nations parade, which went around the entirety of the Epcot Lagoon, followed by this show later that night. Okay? This show was essentially built to tell the story of Earth in about 10-ish minutes, little over 10 minutes. So it goes through creation of the Earth coming out, life coming onto the Earth, people show up, yada, yada, yada. And it's this positive message that ends up getting sent for the future. We go on another 1,000 circles around the sun are some of the lines from the
We Go On
song.
Now we've watched the Imagineers talk about this show, which I still wish in some capacity I would have been able to see live in some way, because those people like Don Dorsey and the people that had to create this show, there are so many little things that they talk about.
The music is excellent, and this is another, going back to what I was saying earlier, I would like to see Disney sponsor these kind of events. So the one that we're talking about that we saw was WDW News Today, yes?
Yes.
They did the whole thing.
News Today does a lot of these events, and a lot of events with Imagineers talking about the product, which it is something that they came up with to really, do what Caleb's saying to get us more involved with the parks and stuff. And it's something that, yes, Disney should sponsor these events. Disney does not. Disney used to with the D23 fan events, but that's at this point become more of a media, media event, and it's not as personalized to the park side. And you have Imagineers there, but it's not like these events. We've watched the Muppet Vision event. I've seen they're doing an Aerosmith event to celebrate Rock and Roller Coaster closing. They've done one with a bunch of different ones for Hollywood Studios, and they rented out the Great Movie Ride at one point at the end of that term. That was a crazy thing for them. So they've done Stage 89 where they talk with all those type of Imagineers, and they're all videoed and recorded. They sell tickets for you to go to these events, or you can watch them on live stream, which we did last year for the Muppet Vision event. So like that type of stuff is what we enjoy listening to, and this show is amazing. I'm still mad it's not in the parks.
Yeah, the music is excellent. Here is, for me, the biggest deal with this show. In the modern era of social media, you're always going to find dissenters, people who don't like literally everything out there. In everything I have seen for this show, I don't remember a single comment, post, anything on any Illuminations video, literally anything that has something bad to say about it. Everyone is, I'm so sad this show's gone. I remember this show fondly. Why isn't this in the parks anymore? Which I guess you could technically call negative, but it's not negative about the show.
That's negative about the company.
Yeah. They all like the show. They want it back. They remember it. And that's something that I don't remember, like, anywhere else in this world you really see.
And as we've said this, and I think people, if they don't know, this was kind of at the start of their reimagining of Epcot, which reimagining of Epcot, just to put it this way, didn't go exactly the way they planned it to go. They made a show that didn't last very long, that was so much worse than this show, and now we've gone to something a little bit in between those two. And again, remember, Harmonious was supposed to be the replacement for a long period of time, and it didn't make it 2 years?
No, it didn't last long enough. So what happened in 2019, this show closed. So I saw it for the final time in 2018.
Same.
So I will go back to that memory because I actually do remember some stuff from that, which is insane because I didn't know about Illuminations or the significance of the show at that point. But they then replaced it with a show, Epcot Forever, which...
before you go there, I will say, like, one memory with the show is my mom saying before that she goes, isn't Epcot this time that we went, isn't Epcot the one with the good fireworks show? And, it's not like, and Mom, if I got the quote exactly right, I don't know, but basically along the lines, like, Epcot's the one with the good fireworks show, and now we're like, this is where we are. Go ahead.
Yeah, so after Illuminations closed in 2019, to a lot of fanfare, to be quite honest, they replaced it with a little show, Epcot Forever, which essentially was a tribute to old Epcot and everything else there.
Which did its job effectively well.
It was good. It was just a small temporary show, while Disney created this massive brand new show, Harmonious, which included 4...
Correct enough, Epcot Forever doesn't work if you don't have the kites.
Yes.
Even though they then would run it without the kites, and it was just fireworks.
But Harmonious was this grand new show, 4 barges plus 1 center barge with like arms, fountains, fireworks, the whole deal. And people didn't like it. It didn't hit the mark. I personally don't like it. I don't think you like it, right?
I don't like it. I get stuck up on the language thing, and then I don't love that switch, but the music, if you just listen to it on its own, it's kind of okay, but then you watch the screens are too big and they block your view during the day. There were so many problems with that whole idea set up there, and so what they had to do was go into this new show, Luminous, which is nothing like that show, but it's still then not at the par of Illuminations.
So Luminous is the show that replaced it. So Luminous is a momentous-style show that takes you through the story of a person's life.
What is momentous for people that don't know?
So momentous is what, Hong Kong?
Yes.
So momentous is Hong Kong's Nighttime Spectacular, which got a lot of success. It was a very good show when it came out, and it then caused Disney to go, we're going to recreate that as essentially our solution to Harmonious. Harmonious just...
Momentous, my senior quote, comes from that.
So Harmonious, my biggest issue with Harmonious is it doesn't fit the Epcot theme. Experimental Prototype of Tomorrow.
Community.
Did I not say that?
You missed Community.
Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Yeah, you said Experimental Prototype of Tomorrow.
That's unfortunate.
Wow, Caleb, okay. I thought we're at Disney Pros here. Yes. Come on.
Okay. So It doesn't fit those themes. I feel like it would have worked great in other environments, in a castle park or in the Magic Kingdom area lagoon, but it didn't hit the themes that Illuminations Reflections of Earth hit on. So
Now, also seeing the same character,
yeah, but
those are fundamental problems.
those are more detailed. But that's where the name comes from. We both love Illuminations, and that's also where the intro to this podcast comes from. The clapping, the show Illuminations starts with people clapping, slow succession, in time with, I believe it's bass drum, which then shoots a big firework up into the air. And that is where this show comes from.
Then they send, like, rockets from the beach, right, after that?
We can go deeper into detail there, but we have some stuff to hit on. I have a few questions for you before we go into the main topic news that we want to get to.
Now, but hold on. We need to hit on the writing document first.
Okay.
Because that is kind of like a big thing that we did on the. Should I let you explain?
You go for it.
So I'll go for it, and you can change. You can put in where you want to. So Caleb went to Disney in August of 2024.
We drove.
They drove down, which is very important, and I managed to miss that. So it was very important that Caleb drove to Disney. They drove home, and on the way home, I asked him for his opinions on every single thing in Walt Disney World. Originally, it was just rides. Originally, it was just the Magic Kingdom. But by the time we went through the entire day of him in the car, was him typing out responses to this. Originally, it was on the group chat. Then we had to go on to the solo texting. It was insane. So I will not take credit for the idea. Lori came up with the idea. My sister came up with the idea to put them all together in a, why not I give my reviews when we go. So I then did my reviews slowly because it took me a lot longer because I flew and I didn't do them. What?
There's one other difference here. I didn't know they were going in a book, so I was texting like brief explanations that, okay, not super brief.
They were not brief.
In the general grand scheme of things, they were shorter, more to the point, like texting language. I wasn't formalizing them. I wasn't checking for spelling errors because I know Kevin will understand them. Kevin, then knowing that he's making a book of these, decided to go through and like do it properly. And I never got to go back and fix any of this. So now the book that Kevin made has like Kevin's paragraph, my slightly shorter paragraph with a few errors or like text speak language. So
well, but in the end it looks really cool.
Oh, it is so cool.
It is one of the cooler things that I think I've ever done as a project. And it took it took me a while to actually get it to tell you that I was doing it, right?
Yeah, you didn't tell me right away, and you didn't get the book to me, I think, until December.
Yeah, it was Christmas. I got it to you around Christmas, around your birthday. But then the reviews, that's one of the cooler things I've ever done, and we'll always have those reviews from that trip for the future, and maybe in the future we'll get new reviews because I want to review myself, like on rides I didn't do, or especially on Universal rides. I'm excited to review those. So with that being said, I think that was a big like Disney project. And you said you have a few questions, and then just so anyone knows, the topic of today is, and it's going to be in the title, but the topic of today is previewing 2026 in the American Disney parks.
Yep. And then also, getting to know us in the podcast and
getting to know us and previewing 2026.
Yeah. So, I have compiled a short list of questions for you about Disney, okay?
Are you answering them as well?
I can answer them as well.
Okay.
Number 1, favorite part of Disney. Interpret this however you want. Or if you don't have one favorite for any of these, just like
part of
choose
Disney.
something.
This becomes, I get asked all the time by people, what's your favorite ride in Disney World? And I just don't, hopefully this isn't another one of your questions, but I don't have that's such a tough question, or favorite like thing in Disney. I'm going to take like the favorite thing, like Disney park related thing. I think is honestly at this point, it's been the music. And I know that's big on Caleb too, but the music, the tracks, what I love listening to is the tracks of rides and being able to listen and find these little quotes and secrets, and then I can recite Muppet Vision. What do I ever need in my life to be able to recite Muppet Vision and Haunted Mansion back to back? No, but you need any cheap 3D tricks or any quotes from those? I know them well. Deep Park Radio's helped me with that, but I love listening to those tracks and then using those quotes in daily life, and no one has any idea what I'm referencing. Like, anytime anyone says there's a minute and a half left, I just go nice and loud, "You got a minute and a half!" Muppet Vision. To Sam Eagle. So, all these quotes that people do, Seinfeld, and people do all these Friends and all these different shows, and Office, all these shows that people reference for quotes, and I go, Disney attraction that doesn't exist. So,
Yep.
So that's, I would say, the favorite part is listening to audio, and thanks to Deep Park Radio for that one. Caleb, I think you agree, kind of, your music.
Yeah, so mine is very much in between the music aspect of it, including background music and theme music. But I think my favorite part of Disney has to sneak over that is the nighttime spectaculars. For me, I just love all of them. I find I haven't seen anyone else do them better than Disney.
There's nowhere else. There's also nowhere else to watch something like this. There's nowhere else to watch a nighttime spectacular.
Not like what they do.
Universal has tried. I'm interested. I have to start researching into that. But like, they've tried. They're not Disney caliber.
Yeah.
These things are impressive.
Everything I found is like the worst the Disney nighttime spectacular that is around now is still better than anything else I have found thus far. Like,
they do it. They nighttime spectaculars is the one thing they do incredibly well.
Yeah.
Incredibly well. Next question.
So next question, honestly, this might be a little bit more geared towards me, but I want to know if you have an opinion on it. Okay? We're looking at the American parks. Disneyland Resort versus Disney World Resort.
Okay, well, yes, that is geared more to you because I've never been to the Disneyland Resort.
Yes.
So I am going to lean the Disney World Resort.
Of course.
And I think there's reasons to back that. You got 4 parks.
Mm-hmm.
You've got I think it's 26 hotels.
A lot.
26 or 23 hotels on property. You've got the monorail system, the Skyliner system. You've got so many little things. Each hotel, you have pools and different pools and so much stuff. Like, you could go to Disney World and still have fun without going to a park. Like, the property, the Disney World Resort, you could go there and not go to a park and still feel like you had a great magical vacation. Disney Springs, 2 water parks. The resort down in Florida is, I think, a better, not saying Disneyland is a great park, and I've done a lot of research to the fact that it feels like I've kind of gone there when I haven't, because I've done so much work with that and DCA, but there's nothing else. You have downtown Disney district there and a few hotels, but it's nothing in comparison. There's a golf course They have 2 mini golf courses and a real 18-hole golf course right near the Magic Kingdom. That property is a vacation spot that could fulfill you for weeks, compared to Disneyland, which, could you fill a week in Disneyland with just going to those 2 parks? I don't know. I don't know if you could. You could if you're a crazy Disney person, but also Walt Disney World Resort shows you things that are not just Disney, like, that are not just Disney park related. There's so much to do down there. So I will say Walt Disney World Resort. I'm interested what take you have on here, but I think Walt Disney World is probably the better property.
Yeah. So
Well, you also have the gift of size. You have no room in it.
Yeah. So when you look at just pure scale, there is not much of an argument. Disney World is just so much bigger, and there's more there, particularly on the resorts and other parts of property. There are more theme parks for you to explore. I would just like to point out something. The number of attractions between the Disneyland Resort and Disney World Resort are actually comparable.
Because Animal Kingdom does not have a lot, and Epcot doesn't have a lot.
And Hollywood Studios doesn't have a ton either.
Hollywood Studios is coming out of it. They're gonna
How many are at Hollywood Studios right now? Off the top of your head.
Tower, Rock and Roller Coaster still there. Are you counting shows? They're attractions, right?
That's just go rides.
Just go rides, because attractions that's a full day park at this point.
Yeah, right.
Runaway Railway, don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Smuggler's Run, don't know why I went there. Rise of the Resistance, Galaxies, what's the ride? Star Tours.
Star Tours.
Slinky Dog. Why are you at a higher number than I am?
We aren't?
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. I thought I saw it backwards. Slinky Dog, Alien Swirling Saucers, Toy Story, Midway Mania, and that's it, right?
That's 9.
That's 9. Wow. That's only 9.
That's 9.
Now, again, there's
Animal
so many...
Kingdom at this point
There's
has
5, right?
Dinosaur,
Not counting shows.
Cali, Expedition Everest, Safaris, and then the 2.
So that's 6, yeah. Now, the difference is Hollywood Studios is built off of a lot of shows.
Yes.
Indiana Jones is there. You've got the Villain Show is there. Beauty and the Beast is there.
So that's where I'm still giving the edge to Magic Kingdom. But for what it is, Disneyland,
You mean
there's
Disney World?
Disney World gets the edge.
You said Magic Kingdom.
Disneyland, however, there's a different aspect to that, though. There's a different vibe. Disney World is this great big tourist destination. It's attracting people from all over the place. Disneyland is more people who are local to the area who visit. And it is very much seems to be built around more of that market. They change nighttime spectaculars much more quickly. The entire area is just smaller. There isn't no one's rushing to get on all of the big attractions all the time. Like, it's not, we've got to get to this, and this. That's not the feel I'm getting from anything.
Yeah,
And that's significant to, like, enjoyment. That's why I enjoyed the time there. There's not the scale of shows. There isn't a giant Epcot park there. Like,
giant Epcot Park. That thing is
that's
huge.
not there. They only have 2 theme parks, but then there's less people, more attractions for those people, so you can get on and off rides faster. So there's a lot to be said about Disneyland and the benefits that come with it there. So I have to give some credit there.
Yeah, with one more thing on this, one of the quotes from the WWNT podcast is like, you build a another park down there, like Epic Universe wise. They build Epic Universe. Like, most people just know Magic Kingdom to be Disney World. If you don't know, it's Magic Kingdom.
And there's so much more.
It's like if you have another theme park down there, like, well, we've been to that place. We've been to we're not gonna not go to Disney World. That's like, you go there all the time. Magic Kingdom is one of the most popular theme parks.
So my next question was favorite nighttime spectacular, but we've already addressed that's Illuminations, and we don't need to go there again at this point.
You can go there again a different
Yes, different day. Favorite Disney World park of the 4.
Disney World Park. I think you know the answer to this question. This is Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. You've gone back and forth between 3, none of which is the Magic Kingdom.
No, I am not as big on Magic Kingdom. I think I'd not been to Disneyland, and I still think I like Disneyland better than I like the Magic Kingdom over. Now, again, I've gone back and forth between Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and they can be, but in the end, it does come down to Animal Kingdom, and I really like the theming of that park. The theming is incredible, and all these there's different arguments for all these different parks, but the theming, there is not, I think, a park right now that stands more truly to its name currently with what is there than Animal Kingdom. Sadly, because Epcot is nowhere close to it.
I feel like the Magic Kingdom stands quite true to its name.
I mean, other than Magic Kingdom.
Of the other 3, I will give you Animal Kingdom.
Because, yes, we are down to 6 or 7 attractions at this point. So we're not at that, stage. But again, there's walking trails. There's the tree is its own thing. The Zootopia show is not good, but whatever. We can deal with that problem down the line. Just, there's so much that fits the theme. The pathways, walking on those pathways it looks like you're in this tropical world, which is completely the goal, and it misses a nighttime spectacular, and I'm sad that park does not open later at night. Go ahead.
So that is my same exact rant on Animal Kingdom. Why doesn't it open at night? You built Avatar Land with all of this nighttime stuff, and then you closed it. Ugh. Anyway, so one important thing that I think is a distinction to make is this is our favorite park. It's not necessarily what we think is the best park.
And I have a different answer for that.
That's
Because Animal Kingdom is
exactly
not
my
the best
point.
park on property. It might be the fourth best park on property, but I don't care.
That's where I would put Animal Kingdom, like fourth best park on property.
And I can't argue
But
that.
it's still your favorite. Like, there's a difference there, and that's where I'm gonna go. My favorite.
Also, I love
park-
animals. My whole
Yeah.
life I've loved animals.
So my favorite park is Epcot. I love the music there. The vibe there was so cool, and the more I've looked into Epcot, the sadder I have become
About
because
Epcot.
of what's happened to it. Going back, love seeing. I've watched a video of the Tapestry of Nations parade. We've talked about Illuminations at length. You know how much I love that show. And all the different stuff. It's experimental
Figment.
prototype community of tomorrow. And I feel like in more recent years, it has become more Disney-fied, which it doesn't need. It doesn't fit. That's not the point.
Horizons closed. Wonders of Life Pavilion closed. Universe of Energy closed. Living with the Land doesn't have a song anymore, which is depressing. The Living Seas not there. Figment is at a terrible version of itself. World Showcases and as like Future World is just destroyed.
And
Communicore Hall and Plaza is replacing Fountain of Nations and Innoventions, and Spaceship Earth is okay but really needs a lot of work because that thing is really not in good shape.
Yeah, but the outside of Spaceship Earth is
Spaceship Earth
beautiful
is
still.
yes, it's still Epcot, but the inside of that
Yeah.
is just that the animatronics look
And-
rough. There's a lot of work to be done.
When we actually look at it, there's so much else. All these places used to have theme songs that go with them, logos that go with them, all this stuff that
Food
just
rocks.
it was so cool. And the more I've looked at it, I'm like, I want this back. It was really cool. Why did we go away and now have like I don't care for Moana Way of Water. Like there's some like there's Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a great roller coaster, love it. But what else could it have been? What if Guardians, you took the coaster and it was an original story about the Big Bang instead of a Guardians travel back in time for the Big Bang?
So there's a lot. We could probably do an episode on Epcot, which
Yeah.
we're probably going to need to. And one last question.
Yeah, one last question. Favorite music track, background, or theme song?
Okay.
You have
well,
one.
Music track.
Other than
Muppet
Illuminations.
Vision. And other than Muppet Vision, because we already talked about
Yeah,
that.
other than those two.
Favorite America, right? We're in
Yeah,
American parks.
we're going to stay in America.
Because again, Paris holds some of my favorite music. Favorite audio track is Polynesian.
Okay.
Yep, it's the Polynesian
Yep.
track. I love that vibe. I've never stayed there. I spent a lot of time there when we went because I kept always going back. I just wanted to feel that vibe and the do 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 do. It's such a do 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 do. It's such a great tune. I love that track. It is an amazing track, and there's so many great audio tracks, but I really, really do love that one.
Yep. And mine is going to definitely come in as Epcot background music, past, present, future, including the Epcot anthem. And we're just going to go with that because Epcot music is wonderful.
And I will not argue that. I just still very much enjoy Polynesian, and I think you know how much I enjoy the Polynesian at this point.
Yeah.
So, the second part of this okay, I don't know why everything's falling off the wall in front.
That's the second
It's
paper
the
of this
second
stream.
paper. I don't know if you noticed two stoppages. One, the phone rang. Another one, the paper fell. And that's the second paper to fall down. So, anyway.
There isn't any air moving in here.
No, I don't know why it's falling all of a sudden. And it didn't fall like all break, but now it's falling now.
Anyway.
So, we have an idea for this episode is going about talking about what's coming in 2026, and I'll run through the list and stop to talk about certain things that seem important because there are certain ones important. And trying to stay in chronological order, one thing I will preface here is we missed something.
Oh,
There is
absolutely.
no doubt-
We just pulled some stuff.
There is no doubt that we missed things, and I've got almost a page and a half full of.
There's no way we remembered everything. And there's probably some, like, big deal stuff that we missed. Like, there's construction going on all over the place for all this different stuff. The
Quest to find the
cars,
construction walls. Yes,
There's
it's like-
so much, and there's no way we got all of it.
Yes, there's so much construction, and always good. I love construction in the parks because it means that now I don't like when things are closed that I want to ride, but construction in the parks is something that we strive for.
Can I start this list?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so there's some stuff right at the top of this list that is all of the Disneyland 70th stuff coming back. So Wondrous Journeys Nighttime Spectacular is going to be coming back on January 8th. The Celebrate Happy Cavalcade is back on January 9th.
Which is too small. That thing is way too short. I don't know if you saw that. It's way too short.
Yes.
Way too short.
Disneyland generally does really good parades. This was not one of my favorites. But the other thing to note here is it is replacing the old style Christmas show that is currently there, which the
great
singer of We Go On and Promise from Illuminations also sings in this Nighttime Spectacular.
Again, you cannot play the audio.
Yes, Believe in Holiday Magic.
You all can look all this stuff up
Yeah.
if you want to. That Wondrous Journeys returns. Also, this will end in August. On August 9th, we'll get to that. But all the stuff will end there. That's expected. Happy to see all of those two come back. It takes a little bit longer until we get Paint the Night back. That doesn't come back till January 30th. They're waiting a little bit longer for that one. I think Disneyland fans are hoping that doesn't go away. Like, that doesn't go away. With this announcement, you could see maybe a chance that doesn't go away on August 9th because it doesn't come back with the other two exactly at the same time, which is interesting.
Yeah, who knows? That's still a ways away. Who knows what could happen?
So then, of course, the Epcot Festival of the Arts will happen from January 16th to the 23rd. It'll just be... That's not exactly my favorite one of the festivals. I enjoy the Flower and Garden Festival the most because it looks really pretty. This one I've almost forgot about this one. The Skyliner in Disney World will be closed from the 25th to January 31st. So people in hotel stays, that's a big deal, like booking a hotel to know that is not going to be open.
Yes, it is certainly a big deal when booking hotels that the Skyliner is there and you want to be able to ride the Skyliner.
Skyliner's like the monorail.
Yeah.
In like how helpful it is to get Hollywood Studios and
it's just fun.
It's very fun. And we're supposed to put a bunch of seniors on a Skyliner. So that'll be fun.
So for a senior trip, the schedule has us all going to the Skyliner at the same time, all 200 some of us, to travel from Hollywood Studios to Epcot. So that will be really fun as we all show up and start getting on the Skyliner.
So that'll be interesting. I'm still interested to see how that goes. And then probably one of the biggest things that's most anticipated for this 2026 starts early. The Cinderella Castle repaint project will begin on January 28th. This is when they're first announcing that entertainment shows will start to change, with the Welcome Show being run in a modified format starting on January 28th. And there's no end date officially announced, and we will assume that the Mickey's Friendship Fair and Happily Ever After will have modified changes at some point during this time. I'm very happy that they're finally repainting the castle. I think it'll look good because I know how much Tokyo's looks good, and I want to see it in Florida. Opinions?
No comment.
Really, no comment.
Yeah, I think it will be cool to see in between when we are there, but I don't have anything particularly... I don't have a real thing to say on this one.
Wave either way.
It's happening.
Next up is just little things of the pools at Bay Lake Tower going on refurbishment from January 26th to May 26th. I'm a big contemporary person, so interesting to see that one. another pool going down for refurbishment. Again, this is if you're going to the Disney resort and you want to know to not book these certain things, like January 26th to the middle of April for the surfboard pool at All Star Sports. And then another one of the bigger things, Frozen Ever After, new animatronics in February. It will close on January 26th. That, I think, is a big deal.
Yeah, it's always interesting when...
And new animatronics means the faces. The faces
Yeah.
are going back to standard.
Yeah, because they have projection faces right now, right?
Doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look
I
good.
I recall that from my trip. Yeah, it's always interesting when we have brand new technology. One of the important things whenever Disney is adding new technology to particularly attractions is it has to work all the time. It doesn't matter if it's really cool if it's not durable. If it's down once a week, that's not okay. So that's just something I've
yeah,
always seen. It's the Navi River journey with that animatronic that's broken a lot. We saw Tiana's Bayou Adventure has consistent problems when it originally opened. Disney's got to iron these things out and make it work for these attractions.
And that animatronic in Navi River Journey is down a ton. And sometimes not fully publicly announced that it's down. When I wanted to... That was another one of my problems. I didn't get to ride that ride. I rode it, not expecting the whole time that I'd see the animatronic. At the end, I just get a screen backed up against a wall because the animatronic is supposed to be pushed out. And that's like the highlight of that ride. Without that, that ride is not that good. Without that animatronic.
It has too much of a wait time for that ride, and that's just because Animal Kingdom doesn't have enough
Anything to do.
attractions.
Yes. So that's that. Paint the Night Parade officially returns on January 30th, 2026.
And then we have something that really doesn't help Animal Kingdom not having enough attractions.
No, Animal Kingdom will close Dinosaur on February 1st in Animal Kingdom. That will be the last day of operation. That doesn't help.
No, but it is for the new
for the greater
Tropical
good.
Americas, which will include 3 new attractions.
3 new attractions,
Carousel,
one
an
re-theme.
Indiana Jones re-theme of Dinosaur, and then an Encanto house ride that we really don't know much about.
And hopefully we'll get information D23 this year because it's going to be closer. The structure's going up. The structure is being built. Land clearing, and they are building structure-y stuff.
Like I said, I feel like that's the project that's furthest along in Disney World right now.
No.
No?
It could be furthest along. One of the second ones is Monsters, Inc.
Oh, yeah.
The whole area is cemented in the parking lot. The parking lot was cleared, and it's like cemented and stuff in there. So that's another one that's really gone pretty far down the line. Then the normal Typhoon Lagoon closes on the 14th of February, and then Blizzard Beach will open on February 15th. And then this one Caleb found on the Disneyland website, and this is got hockey reference. Here we go.
Yes, so this is one of the fun things, the Anaheim Duck Day at Disney's California Adventure, February 22nd, where essentially the Anaheim Ducks players some of them are going to be there, and it's going to be Anaheim Duck themed, which I just find cool. The history is when the NHL originally expanded, Disney got a hockey team in Anaheim. They were called the Mighty Ducks.
From the movie.
Since then, sold no longer with Disney, but I thought that this was cool. And for the sole reason that Anaheim, Disney Mighty Ducks, this is one of the 2 hockey teams that I care about. And when I say care about, I mean check on their record once a month.
Yes, and
It's that and the Flyers, which Philadelphia.
I watch Flyers hockey. Anyway, that's not important for now. Disney Princess Half Marathon, February 26th to March 2nd is Marathon Weekend in Disney World. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad opens probably March or late February based off of permits. That opens with the new scenes that are currently in Disneyland. I'm very excited for that. Big Thunder is one of my favorite roller coasters.
They did re-tracking for that, right?
I think so, yes.
I wonder how that's going to be.
But they still, I think, have the rickety feel for Big Thunder. That coaster, I'm very excited to get that back. It is one of my favorites in Magic Kingdom.
I liked all of the roller coasters in Disneyland better than the ones in Disney World, with the exception of Incredicoaster. I don't like Space Mountain in Disney World. Space
both
Mountain
agree with
in
that.
Disneyland was one of the best roller coasters I've ever ridden. That also applies for Big Thunder there. It's just all of the roller coasters in Disneyland I loved. So I'm honestly kind of wondering what this new Big Thunder is going to feel like, because it has been one of my favorites in Disney World.
Hopefully we should be able to experience that for our senior trip, and that's going to be one of the top bucket list things. Speaking of roller coasters, a closure. Rock and Roller Coaster goes. Why are you celebrating this?
Because I don't like Rock and Roller Coaster.
Okay, so
it goes upside down. I don't like roller coasters that go upside
You
down.
don't
I've
even
only
really
ever
notice
been
it.
on one, and I don't like that one.
You
That's
don't-
Incredicoaster.
You don't really notice it as much because you're going 60 miles an hour already from the launch. I love the music.
Yeah.
I love the Muppets. I still don't love the move to make this Muppet coaster.
Yeah.
It's not great. You can't get Muppet humor from a roller coaster. It doesn't work. The pre-show better be good, because other than that, there's nothing really changing that much here. The track is staying completely the same. They said they're probably keeping most of the signage about the same. I don't really like this move for them. I really just think they should put Muppet Vision 3D out in the Villains show and move the Villains show to Villains Land when that opens.
Yeah, so I'm kind of there with you with a lot of this, where I like... People really do like that ride.
It's popular.
There-
It's got one of the
there's-
highest weights in the park.
Yeah, it always is. We'll see what happens. One of the things I just feel like I need to say, I don't like telling Disney that this won't work.
Oh, yeah.
Give them the chance to make it work, and then if it doesn't, you can say something. You can say, I don't think it'll work.
I'm saying the project is not the right...
Yeah,
the-
I don't doubt Disney.
It's not the... But it's not... The thing with that is it's not the right property.
Yeah. If anyone can do it, though, I feel like it would be Disney. But
You know what
we'll
they-
see.
You know who they really should have put in there?
Who?
Another music artist. Taylor Swift. They should have. They have her show on
yeah.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You would get an insane wait time for that ride. It would be insanely popular. You're showing her outfits in Walt Disney Presents, and they're creating a wait time right now. Like that's a thing in the showcase spot of Walt Disney Presents in Hollywood
I
Studios.
wonder if they looked into that.
I wonder if they did, and there's been different reports of them
That
thinking
would've been
about a ride
interesting.
for Taylor Swift in Hollywood Studios, which makes sense. They have it. Why not use it? And she's gonna get money from it. They'll get money from it. They know where the money is. Captain EO is is because they knew money was there with Michael Jackson. So that's something to think about down the line. But again, Rock and Roller Coaster being changed to the Muppets. I'm doubting the situation. We'll see what happens. Space Ranger Spin opening. So positive again. Opening in we say March. It says spring 2026, but it looks like that's going to be opening in March. I like what it looks like. Buddy the Robot. What's it called? If You Can Fly. Is that the ride before Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin? New guns, handheld guns with the targets. New animatronic at the beginning. I think this ride is going to be an upgrade. It's the same ride, but just it's going to have a better taste and upgrade because it did feel old.
Yeah. With this ride, this is another one of the things I actually remember doing from 2018. I remember not liking it, and that's simply because being a person who does like video games, it kind of tries to build that video game feel, but you're also just taking a little gun thing, shooting it, and you never got any feedback to know like where you were missing. All you could see is if the number went up or the number didn't. You don't know if you're aiming too low, too high, too left, too right, and that really bothered me. That's why I like Toy Story Mania a lot more, and I don't know.
Toy
That's
Story
my
Midway
only real
Mania.
issue with this.
The problem is Toy Story Midway Mania is such a better Toy Story shooter ride than Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger
Yeah.
Spin, and to have them both in the same time, one being so outdated and compared to the other one is just not.
But
really
People
working.
Mover going through that attraction is cool.
And it's
I
cool
love
to see
the People
right now
Mover.
while they're doing construction on it. Yeah, there's been different streams. I've always with a lot. Also,
I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Also,
I haven't seen that.
Also, big so you know, I'm a big live streamer, Disney live stream person. I love watching Disney live streams, so I'll always reference them. Quick little ones. Epcot Flower and Garden Festival. Yay! That'll be running when we're there because I love the Flower and Garden Festival. Please don't be raining because that's why I don't like Epcot at points. March 4th to June 1st. Then all new in Disneyland, Big Bluey Fun and More beginning March 22nd, 2026. That's going to be a big draw. It's kind of like Duffy in Tokyo. It's going to be a big, big draw. And you have any quick thing on that?
No, just one comment about the Epcot festivals. I believe Beacons of Magic shows generally go with the festivals to some extent. Yeah. But I don't know how that works, and I really want to know how that works, but Disney doesn't make that information very easily accessible on the app or anything. So I've been looking for that, and I can never find it.
That's a Caleb
Bring
issue.
back the Epcot 40th show.
Yes, and I think it plays at some point. It plays randomly. I think that's during the Festival of the Arts.
I would love to know when it is. The very fact that you're saying I think, I want to know.
And I'm surprised no one has figured it out or done if I lived down there, I would go there a few days in a row and try and figure it out
and make it easily available. I can Google it and nothing ever comes up. That's
even AI
new
doesn't
or relevant.
Know.
Yeah,
even AI doesn't know. Springtime. This one I thought no, not there. Springtime Surprise Weekend is a Run Disney event, April 16th to the 20th. Caleb's favorite Hyperspace Mountain out there in Disneyland when he went on it in Disneyland. There's nothing really to say there. It's just the Star Wars overlay on Space Mountain, which is a very good overlay.
Yeah, I don't care for Star Wars that much, which is actually quite surprising because everyone around me says I would like Star Wars, but
neither do I. We're not Star Wars people right here.
But I will say that overlay was really good.
Yeah, I haven't wrote it, but I know Space Mountain in Disney World is not my favorite. And it's nothing like that. This one I thought was really cool. Spring Dapper Day. Dress in your dapper attire. Epcot from May 2nd and Animal Kingdom on May 3rd. So you can dress up in that attire and wear it to the park.
I didn't know they did those in Disney World.
I didn't know either. I found it. I'm like, this is awesome. This seems like a Disneyland thing.
It is. They did it when I was there.
And I'm very, very excited to watch a stream or see coverage on this one. And then on May 4th, of course, May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day in Hollywood Studios. There will be events for that. There's nothing official for that yet. But I'm excited for Dapper Day. Smuggler's Run gets new scenes with Mando and Grogu. Smuggler's Run needs something else because it's not the greatest it can be, and I think if it tends to be turned to a little bit more like Star Tours, I think it can be more popular.
Smuggler's Run is interesting because it very much
it's the same video game thing.
It's a video game, and like all video games, you need replayability in order to actually get good at it.
And yes, so if you only ride it once after waiting on a lightning lane, you sometimes don't even know what you're doing till the middle of the ride.
Exactly.
So that's a problem in itself.
It feels like more of a Disneyland attraction, to be quite honest, to get those reoccurring.
It's not worth the wait that it
guests.
has in Hollywood Studios. It has the right wait in Disneyland.
Yeah. I did it once when I went, and it was a little underwhelming for me. Even I play video games and generally pick up on them really quickly, and it still just took a while to get a feel for it.
I don't remember.
I can't imagine how other people who don't have that experience with any video games
feel
pick up on it at all.
Then in Epcot, this was been a topic I've kind of gone back and forth with and officially figured out this weekend, that Soarin' Over America, the new Soarin' film, will open on or by, it says by May 25th. So on or before Memorial Day weekend in Epcot, then it will open in DCA on July 2nd. We both love Soarin'. Top ride in one of my top attractions, I think, if I didn't make a top 5 list. And I'm interested to see how this works. I think it's probably going to tend more closer to the California film than it will the world film with the way the film is produced. But because I think in the end, the California film gets more recognition to be people love that film more than they love the current film. So I think that's probably where they're going to go. And if they don't, they don't. But I think it's, again, the score is important and the show scene and the scenes are important. I'm interested on what they pick.
With Soarin', you have to nail the music. If they don't nail the music for this, Soarin' just really doesn't work as well.
Yes, and it is a fun ride, though. It is
Yes,
definitely
I love
very
Soarin'.
fun. The Savannah Bananas, the comedy trick-shotting baseball team, is going to play in the ESPN Worldwide of Sports, which is another offering in Disney World that you can do. You can go there for sports and stuff. They'll be playing there on the 29th and the 30th of May. So that'll be interesting to see. I don't really care for it, but I'll probably watch the game just because it's in Disney area, because I want to see like what Disney actual Mickey Mouse probably coverage they have for that. Then Caleb found something about from May 22nd to September 7th, 2026, kids 3 to 9 can enjoy both theme parks for just $50 with a special one-day park hopper ticket. That's an interesting thing if you're going to Disneyland. Issue is I'm not going to Disneyland, and I don't have
Once
young
again,
kids.
something that is built to bring the local guests in the area for a single-day trip to Disneyland.
Yes. June, Moonlight Magic at Typhoon Lagoon on the 25th, August 4th, August 20th, and likely more. That's their nighttime event in Typhoon Lagoon for the water park, which is, again, the water park that is not open. Is the one that is only open for those certain events. Of course, we said DCA thing, Celebrate America fireworks show on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It might be a little extra also with the 250 America Celebration year.
Yep, that is the one in Magic Kingdom.
That is the Magic Kingdom show. Then, of course, the Epcot July 4th events, which are just so fun to watch all the time, character interactions, and the nighttime spectacular celebrating America.
Yep, which is some version of Luminous usually, or it at least was some version of Illuminations.
But we don't like doing that anymore. August, again, Disneyland's 70th celebration ends. Rock and Roller Coaster Muppets come sometime in the summer, and late August will be the Halloween party and the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. In September, Epcot Moonlight Magic event for DVC on September 10th, and Christmas exists, New Year's Eve exists.
Disney will do things for those. We just don't know much about them yet.
These things, I guess, that I just didn't get in here in order was the Walt Disney Studios animation area in Hollywood Studios will be opening in this summer. So that's with the hat and all that in Animation Courtyard.
Do we know when? Summer?
I couldn't find anything. Also, Level 99 is like a 60 level. It's like a fun place, fun house type thing for Disney Springs in 2026 in the summer. So there's a lot of stuff in that animation area. The Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse live show, the Drawn to Wonderland Interactive Playground, which Hollywood Studios needs an interactive playground, and Off the Page Animation Studio. So that stuff is really deep, and there's a bunch of stuff you can get into that, which we really don't have the time for. But there's a lot. We can probably dive into almost each park on one of these episodes. We'll definitely have one about music. And I think that covered a bunch of 2026. What is the one thing in 2026 you are looking forward to the most in Disney?
Oh.
I thought you could have seen this question coming from
No.
a mile away.
No, I did not, and I am a little bit stumped. What am I most excited for that's coming?
That's coming. That's officially coming. That we know is coming. I didn't see this, but isn't Carousel Progress closing at some point for the Walt Disney Animatronic, or is that not 26?
I'll be honest, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We might miss things.
Yeah, I'm sure we did. What am I most excited for that's coming? Well, I'm excited for all the construction that's happening, but that's not coming this year.
No, I think coming this year, big thing is to see how the Big Thunder stuff works, because also maybe there's a chance to get a little view over the construction walls by riding Big Thunder, which will be interesting, and I like that. I like the idea for Soarin'. That's one of my top things. And this animation thing looks really cool.
Oh, I've got my answer. Because there actually is something I'm really excited for. It's just a little bit cheaty. Can you ask that question again?
No.
Please?
What are you most excited for coming in 2026?
Perfect. So, I am most excited for Disney Paris' Adventure World that's opening in Disney Studios, along with the brand new nighttime spectacular with drones that is also coming, March 28th?
Yeah, whatever that is, just so you know, neither of us will be going to Paris to watch that, but we will be here to talk
I'm
about
so
it.
excited for that.
I am that'll be
Drone show, new music. Yes, that's everything I love.
Happy Caleb. Happy Caleb right here. So with that, we need to wrap this up. We've been going for a very long period of time. We Go On and On Disney Parks podcast first episode has been completed. Any last thing you want to hit on?
I just think it would be really funny. I have a really funny ending idea.
Okay,
this out.
I did the intro. You can do the outro. I don't know what I'm doing with music yet because I can't exactly use certain music, so I don't know what I'm going to do with intro music.
And I just came up with this, okay?
Go ahead.
All
That's
good?
it for me.
Okay. Well, this is Caleb.
Kevin?
And that is it for us as we go on and on and on and on and